What's going on, guys? Vic VP back with another Gamecase Arcades video. On this one today, we got another Facebook Marketplace find. No, don't worry, I didn't get this one for free 99. Check out this $150 Yoga Flame Arcade 1-Up with riser that I scored. And I modified it to have 29,000 games. 29,000 games. Let's take a look. Yoga Flame. All right, you know the drill. If you're not following me on all the socials, what are you waiting for? Be sure to follow me at Vic_VP. Click the Linktree link down below. I updated my website, added a couple more pictures. You'll see all the socials. You can see all the behind the scenes stuff when I get stuff and play pinball and I play arcade games and I get all excited. What are you waiting for? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this Yoga Flame Arcade 1-Up Legacy Edition mod that now has 29,000 games. Now that I think of it, I shouldn't have done a Hadouken. I should have done a Yoga Flame, but then putting that on doing that would be weird. But yes, what are you waiting for? Go follow all the socials. What are you waiting for? Go. Oh yes, there is a method to the madness. Pandora on Pandora on Pandora on Pandora. Pandora boxes everywhere. Yes, it's funny. This is pretty cool. These three cabinets right here that you see, they are all going to be getting the same treatment. They are going to be getting Pandora Box builds on them. 2 of 3 are totally complete. Yeah, Pandora boxes. It's the quickest, easiest way to modify a cabinet. I would also like to say it's the cheapest. A lot. There's a lot going on. But yes, I do have quite a few Pandora boxes in the garage. So these next 2 weeks is going to be Pandora Box City. It's actually a pretty cool thing. I get the requests. We'll talk. You know me, I always like to talk. It's a good thing that I had these cabinets here because my distributor, it's always funny when I mention that. It's like I have a dealer, I have a guy. My distributor and these Pandora boxes, they always constantly get updated. Probably every 6 months, a new one comes out. Normally, I used to use one, I have to say used to because they don't make them anymore. I used to have the 18S Pro. That was a 10,000 game or a 12,000 game Pandora's box. My distro doesn't have those anymore. They now have the Pandora Box 60S. Yes, it went from 18 to 60. Now running 29,800 games. That's mind-blowing stuff. Again, I've talked about Pandora Box builds. I just made the quick short. Pandora Box builds, they have pros. I started, once when I was getting my feet wet in this whole multicade experience, I started with a Pandora box. I think it was the 4S at the time. It was green. It was a green overlay. I always say it. If you're new to this hobby, if you're new to this, getting a Pandora's box to start is the best way. It's the best way to experience a multicade. Not only is it the cheapest way, it's the best. It's user-friendly, it's easy, it's simple. The con to it is, and this is where I always tell customers, it's your first multicade, it's your first time experiencing this, baby steps. Once you understand and navigate how it all works, then reach for the stars. Then start putting Street Fighter 6, start putting light guns and stuff. Take it slow. That's where the Pandora's box has its biggest advantage. So user-friendly. Wait until you hear the story about this one. I went on a quick rant about Pandora's box. Pandora's get flack. I understand why they do. Don't get me wrong. But for 80 bucks, 80? I'll tell you. Don't worry, I'll tell you. For 80 bucks, there's a reason why I paid 80 though, because I had to buy 4 of them. For 80 bucks, 29,000 games, works out of the box. You know what I mean? It's the cheapest and easiest way to get your feet wet. But on this one today, we're gonna be talking about this Arcade 1-Up Yoga Flame. Legacy Edition arcade cabinet that I scored on Facebook Marketplace. Put it in the comment section down below. I'll take a second. How much do you think I paid for this? And no, don't worry. Don't get your... Don't get pissed. Don't... Halvik. I didn't get it for free 99. Don't worry, I paid for this. Real quick to comment. This is probably, to date, the nicest looking arcade 1-Up there is. I like the artwork on this. I'm actually trying / planning to see if I could like find the the characters, the exact images that they used. But I think they got somebody to make it. It's beautiful. I like the Yoga Flame. I was also looking for a big blue. But people want insane numbers for that. People want like $600 for a big blue. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm not gonna do like, no, I'm not gonna pay $600 for that. This one right here, you're looking at $150. Person originally wanted $250. I just sent them a message. I said, hey, I'll give you $150. I'll pick it up tomorrow. Without hesitation, deal. This, again, Arcade 1-Up Legacy Edition. It has the riser, which was a big plus. Basically now, if I'm looking for an Arcade 1-Up, Vic, you're looking for Arcade 1-Ups? I'll tell you what happened here. A riser is a must. I almost spent $50 on a Gen 1 Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, but it had no riser and the control panel was like done. And I'm looking up online how much a new control panel would be. Some people want like $80. So paying $150 for this, it was a no-brainer. Now, Vic, you look for Arcade 1-Ups? No, this one here was kind of a unique situation. It's really in regards to what's going on behind you here. Again, Ray's white cabinet, that 32-inch cabinet there, once I got that in my garage, I messaged my sister. I said, hey, I've always wanted to make my niece and nephew, 3-year-old and 1-year-old, I've always wanted to give them an arcade cabinet because when they come over my house, they gravitate towards my arcade cabinet. So I said, hey, I have that one. Do you want it? And my sister said, measure it. I gave her the measurements. Way too big. It won't fit. If you find something smaller, I'm all ears. And that is when I went looking for an Arcade 1-Up. Now, some of you might be saying, Vic, why don't you just make them a custom-made by Vic cabinet? I would, but I honestly would wait until they're older so I could put actual like artwork that they would want. And then now I gotta go to my sister's house. I gotta measure the space. This is like extra work. My wife was even saying like, oh, you know, they're like young. Do you really want to give them an arcade cabinet? I'm like, when they come over, they go crazy with mine. So like, yeah, why not? If I could find a good deal on an Arcade 1-Up, I'll do it. I honestly was looking at making the 27-inch GRS cabinet. And I was like, you know what? Like, I even sent the dimensions to that to my sister, and she's like, no, it's still too big. And I'm like, okay, this would have to do. So yes, I do build arcade cabinets, but not everybody could fit a Bivic, and that's a-okay. That's all right, but it is what it is. It's all, honestly, this whole whirlwind, it actually worked out pretty good. Again, the major plus to this, I've gotten a couple of requests for people that want arcade cabinets. This is a daily thing. I get like emails every day, and that's a-okay. You know, people have certain budgets when it comes to arcade cabinets, and I understand. I totally get it. Don't get me wrong. You know, when people see 5-figure Bivics, 43 terabyte builds, they go, Aruga. The worst is when you message me back and go, oh, I thought it was like a $2,000 cabinet. Like, no, just get this then if you're in that budget. Not to make fun of you, but no. I can't give you a 43 terabyte PC build for $2,000. Doesn't even cover the cost of the PC. Whatever. I had a couple people that messaged me and said, hey, I want a Pandora. I want to build. This is my budget. That's where I tell them, you got to get a Pandora's box. Now, keep in mind, there are pros and obviously there's cons to Pandora box builds. I feel like I'm the only builder that offers Pandora boxes. There's a lot going on with these multi-cades and stuff. But to basically summarize what I'm trying to get at, I needed a Pandora box. I have a potential customer that wants a Pandora box because that's what their budget consists of, and it's their first multicade. I'm gonna talk about all that. And they requested, hey Vic, can I come down and like see a system? Can I see a Pandora box? I normally don't have stock of Pandora box. I usually buy those and such. I took this opportunity though, so I said, hey, you know what? I'll buy one so you could come in, we could, test it out and all that. And then I had this whole thing where I got Ray's cabinet behind me. Neo Geo, if you go back on my streams, Neo Geo, that's a gift from my buddy Tanner. I had my laptop, an old laptop where I streamed, I think 2 times with it. We were playing like some Neo Geo Rally or whatever it was called. The laptop is dated, so it was like slowing down. So I knew I was gonna put a Pandora box in that Neo Geo. So I said, okay, cool. One cabinet needs a Pandora box. Another cabinet needs a Pandora box. This cabinet then fell in my lap where I was searching for it. I said, okay, let me get this Pandora box. So that's where I go into where I paid $80 for those. I had to buy 4 Pandora boxes and I paid $80. So it's like, it's cool. I needed to modify some stuff that's here, and that's why I have a bunch of Pandora boxes. But going back real quick, I feel like I'm the only builder that offers Pandora box. There's a reason I do that though. That's where like, I feel bad. This is where, like I said, I was gonna probably sit down and stream this one day, but I feel bad when some people, like, they message me, and I'm, in this day and age, doing this for years, I don't really give a shit. Meaning, I don't care if I offend somebody or if I, offend another builder. I've gotten several times, you'd be surprised, I get people that they call me up, they message me, they go, hey Vic, man, I got this company from this, I got this cabinet from this company, and it's just like, it's not what I thought it was when it comes to a multicade. So I asked them, like, what issues are you having? The user interface, there's so many games. There's games and bloatware that I don't even want. And like, I'm like, it takes me 10 minutes to find Pac-Man. I feel bad when people tell me that. And I usually hit them with, is this your first multicade? And they go, yeah. And I'm like, you probably spent 5 figures for that machine. And they don't like it because like their experience with it, they weren't like prepared. They get fed this idea of like, yes, I can have all these games I grew up with, yes. And then it's like, once you have it in front of you, and now it's like, oh wait, I have to go to PlayStation 2 and I have to find, and like that's where they like lose it. And the best thing I always tell people message me, they go, I had a party and somebody pressed a button and now I'm in a menu that I don't know where There's a lot to it when it comes to the multicade scene. I always say it, I even have it on my website, and this is where I was saying before, where I had somebody, message me and they want a potential build. I always ask, is this your first multicade? Majority of the time, people say, yes, it's my first. So I say, what games do you want to play? They always hit me with, oh, I want to play, what I grew up with. I want to play some Street Fighter. I want to play some Metal Slug. I want to play some Galaga. I'm like, okay, cool. You want to play the arcade classics? Cool. The best system, especially because it's your first multicade, I always recommend a Pandora box. Now, people are like calm with it. I send them my buyer's guide. I made a buyer's guide on a Pandora box, and people understand it. They go, oh, wow, I could just turn this off. And then like I could just turn it on and it like boots. I don't have to yeah. This is what people want. People want it like quick, easy. I'm gifting this to a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Nobody wants their kid to go over here and press like a button to turn on your PC and then wait 30 seconds for Launchbox to launch. Oh, Vic, it doesn't take 30 seconds for Launchbox, Big Box to launch if you put it in the shell. Get the fuck. Like that's what annoys me. Where it's like I'm already booted. It's like if you're new to this, that is like talking a different language to somebody. Like what? What are you talking about? I've had people, I just want Pac-Man. Okay, just put a Pandora box and just have it boot into Pac-Man. Like that's it. That's where like the Raspberry Pis I used to do. I had one guy that wanted, I think it was just Street Fighter 2. So I set up the Raspberry Pi to just boot directly into Street Fighter 2. Now, with Raspberry Pis, which I don't do anymore, people were never shutting it down. SD cards flash, corrupt, my system doesn't work now. Same thing with PC-based systems. You'd be surprised, I've gone over people's houses, like the guy that I helped with that Megacade, and it shocks me when literally people are like, okay, I'm done, and they pull the plug. And I'm like, oh my God, don't do that. Do not do that for a PC-based system. And they're like, why? It's an arcade cabinet. I remember growing up and having, like, you know, my cousin had an arcade cabinet. I could just unplug it. I'm like, yeah, but this isn't an arcade. This is a PC. Like, people don't understand that. And the worst is that builders don't explain it. That's what really ticks me off. I went on a tangent, but it's okay because it's my channel. I can do whatever the hell I want. That's why I feel like I'm the only one that does Pandora boxes. I'm not here to take your money and steal your money. Number one, off the bat, I'm like, is this your first multicade? I highly recommend a Pandora box. This here, if you cannot navigate a Pandora box menu, you're not gonna be able to navigate a launch box, big box, hyperspin menu. This is like easy. Take it step by step. Again, what I'm getting at basically, the cons to Pandora boxes, you know, I get people, they want, hey, I want to play Grand Theft Auto. And I always laugh at that because you don't want to play Grand Theft Auto with arcade sticks, but you want controllers. Can this do that? No, it can't. Does this have PS2? No. Does it have GameCube? No. It has your arcade classics to an extent. Like the biggest thing right now, Pandora's never had it. Well, the one I used to have, but it was the Dreamcast version. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's the biggest request I get. You automatically need a PC-based system for that. Now you're talking about bigger bucks. So if you could live without like 1 or 2 games, I always recommend get the Pandora box, get your feet wet. Just get your feet wet. Understand how to navigate this. Now that you're comfortable with this, moving on to a higher end setup should be a breeze. You know, whereas these people, you know, they get these souped up megacades and multicades and ultimate arcades like I sell, and they're just not prepared. You know, they get fed the illusion that like, oh, if you want to play Pac-Man, yeah, just turn it on and press the button. Like, no, you got to navigate. There's a lot going on. Now, basically, to end my rant with this whole Pandora box thing, going back to these two here, got a couple of things going on here. So this again is Ray's old 32-inch Game Room Solutions cabinet. The plan with this, like I mentioned before, I was looking at a Big Blue arcade one up. I'm actually going to be making that a Big Blue. Basically, I'm just going to make the side art. The artwork is going to be Big Blue inspired, but also multicade. So it's like a twist on things. So it's kind of crazy. It's like a Street Fighter fest in my garage. I got the Street Fighter pinball. This is going to be Big Blue. I got Yoga Flame. So there's a lot of Street Fighter action going on. So again, a cabinet like this that I'm not going to keep, maybe potentially I could sell it or I would donate it. A Pandora box is a no-brainer. I'm going to talk about the arcade one up, but like if it was like a cabinet for me, I would definitely put a PC in it. But again, it's like I'm keeping in mind who's going to use it. Take a look real quick at the Neo Geo. The Neo Geo, it's actually funny. You'll stay tuned for a video on this. I had some guy that was like, oh, you butchered this. You should have kept it original. Missed opportunity. And I was like, this is a replica. It wasn't, from my understanding and the way I look at it, at least on the inside, it's a replica. This is not an original. The alphanumeric displays here, it's not even there. It's like a button cutout, so that's not right. The original MVS was a 1 slot that was in this, gifted to me from Tanner. It had a 300 game cart in it that half the games didn't work. You know, if I want to keep it original, you got to see a price or even try to find a 6 slot MVS system. The amount of money I would spend on that system is like triple the cost of a Pandora box. So yes, I did this knowing that I was going to put a Pandora box. This was already modified with a 32-inch LCD in it. Awesome stuff. Like I said, I was running a BS laptop in this. And, you know, now like spring is coming in and I got my garage open. So sometimes neighbors and neighborhood kids, like they're like, whoa, what's going on here? What are you building today, Vic? And I'm like, oh, most of the times kids want to play. I'm like, all right, I'll just load up Neo Geo and you could, you know, play with this. So again, very user-friendly, but what's cool with this one and with the Big Blue, these have coin doors on them. So another pro to a Pandora box, you know, wink, wink. So you could put these in a business and you could get them to accept quarters. Again, very user-friendly. You just want to unplug it, replug it. You don't have to worry about shutting down and stuff. That's why I go with Pandora boxes. These right here, I have a local pool club that I go to. every year. They have a game room, and it's a very pathetic, you can't even call it a game room. They have like 2 broken air hockey tables, and that's it. I'm planning to bring these 2 to the game room. This way kids could actually enjoy, instead of playing with broken air hockey tables that I pay taxes for. I might as well call this like episode Pandora Box Talk. But anyway, going back to this Yoga Flame here. Again, $150 score. Amazing score. I like the artwork on this. I do like their like control panel. I don't want to, is it? No, this is technically Konami style. This isn't Dynamo. I seen a Dynamo. I think it's a big blue Dynamo with like the angle. Dig it, but I'm not digging it for $600. That's like a no. Again, really cool cabinet. I was very excited for it. I like this. I love the artwork on it. I would probably want to change the marquee, if anything, because that's like, you know, it's not really, whatever. It is what it is. It comes stock from that. But modifying this was your basic like arcade 1-up. I honestly picked this up, and the biggest fear I had was, oh man, do they have the LVDS board for the monitor on this? Because the newer arcade 1-ups, they change monitors and stuff. So I was very happy to find out that I could find an LVDS. This one had like the live option. I basically just put coin buttons. Don't need it for Pandora Box, but whatever. The button's already there. Like, what are you gonna do with it? So it's there. I removed the headphone jack on this because can't really use it. So the headphone jack, I just made another button. So I took the bit and I made a whole circle out of it. Awesome stuff. Obviously, when you do arcade 1-up mods, you definitely want to change out those god-awful joysticks and buttons. I actually have the whole set up for sale. So if anybody wants a Yoga Flame board with the monitor and the antenna and all that, I have that up for sale. So if anybody wants it, they could go and grab it. But yeah, it's your basic arcade 1-up mod. There's many videos on how to modify an arcade 1-up. The main thing I do like about this specific cabinet, especially gifting it to my niece and nephew, I do like the on and off switch. I'll be honest, that's like convenient. That's like awesome. Again, standards, I should say stock on and off switch from arcade 1-up. You do have to do something to your power strip. You're getting kind of technical, so you want to be sure that you wire up everything correctly. Big thing with these volume switches, same thing with Gen 1s. The volume stuff that comes with these arcade 1-ups, you can't use after that. Like if you mod it, you can't use it. So I have my standard amplifier that I get on Amazon. How to modify the board, basically I have to put it on a piece of wood and then mount that piece of wood to the deck so you could, it stays there. Pretty cool though, very simple. You get your volume switch there because you want something convenient. Stereo sound now on these arcade 1-ups is pretty cool. Again, you got dual speakers there, so I don't have to buy speakers and stuff.
Marvel versus Capcom.
It's like convenient. You got volume here. Again, this is like cool. This is awesome, like especially for my niece and nephew, my brother-in-law, my sister. Like it's just easy, very basic, very simple to use. Turn it on and pick a game, and you're gaming. Again, I have it set to free play. It's a thing of beauty. It's awesome. Again, you put your power strip in the rear, and you're good to go with that. Now, I do have a tutorial on this on YouTube, but some people still like to see it. Again, this is what I order from my distributor. I'll show you exactly what it is. This is a fresh one. This is going to be going inside the big blue multicade. Again, I think standard, if you only buy one, I think it's like 100 to like 110. Anytime you look on eBay for Pandora Box, there's usually an option to send an offer. Whenever you get these, you get your basics. It comes with like HDMI cords. It comes with the joysticks. It comes with the power cable. But let me take this out of the box and I'll show you what I do with these Pandora boxes. Now again, this is what's inside those boxes. So it comes with like the detachable joysticks, or I should say it's like the regular screw on. Again, in the rear, just convenient. It's got your basics, your HDMI port, your power. It's even got USB, so you could put controllers to this. I haven't really gone into like looking into the games. Really, you're gonna see later on, we'll load up some Pac-Man and Galaga. We'll see how that goes. But I have to kind of sit down and see the games. I do have a game list from this company. Again, 29,000 games. But again, I made a video on this. Yes, I get these. These are the Pandora Box. It's like a control panel. And sometimes, I've done it twice so far, where I've ordered a Pandora Box that had somebody that said, hey Vic, I want to test a system out. I've ordered this, because in all honesty, I need this anyway. So I've ordered one, And I actually gave it to the customer. I said, here, take this, plug it into your TV, put this on your counter, you could play. Just keep in mind that these joysticks and buttons are trash. They are like garbage. Don't focus on the hardware on this. You just want to focus on the software, meaning try out the Pandora Box, see how you like it. And so far, those 2 times that I've done it, I've taken these and then I've put that inside the customer's build. Because they said, you know what, Vic? This is awesome. I'm able to navigate. My kiddo liked it. Easy. So pros and cons. But yes, I do get these control panels and I got them. I've made videos on it. You take the screws out. This is what it looks like on the inside. Again, this is it. I take the board, that green board that's right here. There's your LED strip. You're going to see me talk about, I linked the LED strip to the marquee because it's 12 volts, so it's already there. And again, it's already got the family JAMA. So what I do though, especially with player 1, because player 1 is such a short, the wire is very short here. I have to extend this. I always do that, but player 2 is always long enough. So these ends here aren't your standard micro switches. They're very like micro blades. So I cut these, I extend. I'll show you my arcade one up, but that's it. I got these. So you could do the same. I've made a video on this. You could do the same. Vic, why did you do that? You lose money. Like, don't you lose? No, you could do it. Do what I do. It's okay. I got these, yes. Exactly what it is. Getting this is actually cheaper than purchasing a Pandora Box alone, adding the harness, like the JAMA harness or the family harness, and a power supply. See, I give you some helpful information. But yeah, essentially this one right here is gonna be the one that's gonna go inside of Ray's cabinet. I just gotta gut it. Now the one negative, but if you're like me and you kind of know your wiring, very oddly though, on this specific Pandora, and this is the Pandora that I will be using from now on, I have to because it's my distro uses it, this has no headphone jack coming out of it. Normally it does. This one doesn't. Vic, how did you connect it to the arcade one-up? Well, it does have a speaker. It's got a speaker in it, right at the bottom. 2 wires. You gotta cut a headphone jack wire. Ground, left, which really this is like 1 channel. Put it to 2. And yeah, that's how I do it. Vic, what? Can you give us a tutorial? That I won't give you a tutorial on because that's just kind of basics, not to be rude. Let me grab a screwdriver. Let me take out the control panel on the arcade one-up so you can see what I did to the panel, and I'll even open up the rear so you can see what I did there. So I took the 4 screws out. We'll take a look at the underside there. Where you are, you could see pretty good. Again, what you saw on that control panel is here. There's player 1. You can kind of see there, everything extended. I even got a loop here for, the extra wire and stuff. Vic, you can't really navigate here. I gotta take out the JAMA here, so the family harness. This comes out of the Pandora Box, so that right there. And now I have more room and freedom to move around. I'll probably shoot some B-roll real quick so you can see what I did as far as the power and as far as the amplifier here and how I have the Pandora Box mounted. But let's take a look real quick at the amplifier. You can kind of see it there, but again, you'll see the B-roll. Again, that's the biggest modification, really. I had to put this, piece of wood here, mount my amplifier. You could see the headphone jack out, and then it's 1 wire, or I should say 2 wires, the ground and like the speaker, left or right channel going up. And when I open up the rear, you'll see it goes up to the stereo sound. In the rear, I basically took the left and right and just merged it together. So it's not really stereo sound, but it's sound. You have both speakers working though. That's really it. You can also see real quick the power. So power is always dangerous, obviously, but I used the standard wire that it came with, but then I did up it up to the 18 gauge. And I have a quick disconnect at the power strip. Let's drop this down and let's take a look at the rear. Little tight squeeze here, but take a look at the rear. Right here I basically cut a hole on the side here. This is where the extension cord / power strip is. I get these strips at Micro Center, these APCs. They're like $8 and they come with 6 foot of cord. Way easier than me doing like my regular arcade stuff where it's like, the PC power supply type style plug and the disconnect here. Very easy stuff. But basically you take out the back door panel. I'll probably bring you in a little bit closer and you kind of see, I'll shoot some B-roll. off the bat though, let me move you over. You can really see what I did with the monitor. Again, luckily we have editing. So real quick, we look at the monitor here. So again, this is the LVDS board. On this specific build here with the arcade one up, I'm actually utilizing the LVDS headphone out. So audio is coming from the HDMI and then headphone out to the speaker. So it goes headphone to the amplifier board that's on the control panel, and then wire going to the stereo here. On the left side here, I have the wire that's going to the 12 volt light strip on the marquee, and the speaker wire is here. So I have a nice little, you know, chain here. You can see the LED strip here. If you look very carefully, I don't think I got it in B-roll, but I basically soldered in my wire going to the marquee. So easy stuff. The LED strip, the first LED has like a control board that makes it slow fade. And you can see there, it's not affecting my LED marquee. As far as the power strip there, you could see the quick disconnect. Again, you can follow my buddy B Kong's video. You can see it there. As far as like, you're gonna see a quick thing where like I have this wire, like, Vic, clean up your wiring. I have this hanging on purpose because I'm able to pull out the control panel. That's like the excess. So if I ever have to work on the control panel, I have the slack. If I zip tie this tight and I try to pull up the control panel, I can't pull up the control panel anymore. So yes, there's a method to the madness. But there you go, that's the rear. Look, it's all empty, nothing else. Simple. This right here, again, it has the built-in marquee, the lighted marquee. That was also another plus and a selling point. I don't have to, you know, Gen 1s, they don't have the light here. Modified this though, this does take, is it 5 volts? No, it's 12 volts. This takes 12 volts. So I actually have this powered with the Pandora box. It's actually, I took the LED strip that comes with those Pandora boxes and I tapped in, and basically if this isn't on, then the Pandora box isn't on, but you don't have to really worry about that because it's all like, everything's on. So again, there's a lot of stuff when it comes to the Pandora box. Modding those, I've done that many times. I even have a video on it. People want updated videos on it. It's like basics. I should maybe sit down one day and make a longer video, but people don't like long videos, so I'm not motivated to do it. But yes, I mean, it's your basics. Again, I did this so that my niece and nephew could relive my childhood. My kiddo does it every day. We play our games every day. And, you know, I have my PC-based system, though. They're going to get at least a nice user-friendly setup. You can put favorites on this, so most likely I have like Street Fighters and like The Simpsons in the beginning, so they could just find it, and you know, Sunset Riders, launch it, and good to go. Again, they're young. They're probably gonna have like 10 minutes and then want to like go play with the Barbie doll. So it'll suffice their needs for now. At least they have an actual, you know, arcade cabinet, so it's cool. Again, Pandora boxes, they're good. Trust me, they're great. They're great for what you need it for. Again, if you're looking for something more in-depth, I want more controllers, I want GameCube, this has like, also another thing with this, at least version of this 60S, they've removed a lot of the BS junk Street Fighter 2s that were like mods and speed hacks and all that. So very interesting stuff. It's got a couple of consoles. It's got some 3D stuff like Tekken 3 and Tekken 1. I'll be honest, it plays choppy. Again, this isn't even Tekken. Well, it says it's loading. Let's see. Oh no, it's loading Tekken. Okay. Oh, it is Tekken. Okay. Let's see how this works. Paul. I'm actually doing this live. We'll do this together.
Round 1.
Tekken 1. I would assume Dreamcast, again, Pandora Box has its pros and its cons. You can't expect amazingness, especially 3D stuff with this, but it does have our red plumber. It's got Sonic on it. Pretty cool. Again, the biggest thing when I did like a search for Street Fighter, on my other Pandora boxes, it had like 8 pages of Street Fighter 2. This one doesn't have that. So I actually have a game list. The company did send me a game list. It's an Excel sheet. So any customer that's interested on a Pandora box build, I send them the game list. You have to go, and I'll be honest, I suggest using a computer because you could use Control F. For some reason on my phone, I can't like Control F it, and I can't like find, you know, I can't search by the word. So anytime people ask me, hey Vic, like Does this have Marvel vs. Capcom 2? No, it doesn't. It's actually funny, this has X-Man and not X-Men. So it's your standard Pandora box. But again, you know, not going off tangent, this is like the pro and the con to these Pandora boxes. Something to get your feet wet, experience some nostalgia. If you're looking for some 3D stuff, you got to move on and get your get a PC-based system. That's also another thing I forgot to see real quick is how does it treat vertical games? So vertical games, as you can see here, it is actually, you know, it's got the sidebars on it, which is cool and good because a lot of the times people don't like the stretch. They don't like the aspect ratio stretch. So there's 1941, pretty decent, pretty nice. I could live with that. Again, a vertical game, looking good. Let's take a look at Pac-Man real quick. I'll leave you guys there, whatever. I'm gonna go to search. Again, that's a convenient thing with these Pandora boxes. You could just go here and type in some Pac-Man. Let's see, we have a couple, Pac-Mania, Pac-Land, Pac-Man. Then I went into Pachinko. Let's see what, like for example, this Pac-Man. This is pretty nice actually. This is like not stretched, but like the score is on the side. Let's see if we can find another Pac-Man. I would assume you could see, yeah, you guys could see. Let's do one more. Not Pac-Mania. Let's try to find like, let's just do this regular basic Pac-Man. Oh, same thing, interesting. Galaga? We should try Galaga maybe. Or even Miss Pac-Man, but I have to put MS. Let's go to search. Let's do Galaga. Let's see if there's any. Again, basics, these are like the common ones. Now keep in mind with this cabinet here. All right, let's see. Galaga. This is actually gonna be interesting here. Wow, they, I don't know what versions that they're running, but this is like, this is pretty cool because it's got like the, that doesn't sound like the arcade version though. And I could pause. Interesting. Let's go one more time. So not the arcade versions of Galaga and Pac-Man. We just discovered that together. Interesting. Normally I have the arcade versions, but this one, it's not. I'm able to pause the game. Kind of cool though, I'll be honest. I mean, Galaga and Pac-Man are joystick and 1 button or 0 buttons if you're doing Pac-Man. So pretty cool. Again, it's easy, simple stuff. Kids, anybody, no matter how old you are, you can go ahead and navigate this pretty cleanly. I think it has Game Boy on it. I haven't really gone through all the consoles and stuff, but the biggest thing is that it just works. And when you're done, just flip the switch. That's it. There you go. And we're gonna end it there while I did a quick ramble. But yes, for my niece and nephew, the arcade 1-up Yoga Flame modified to have 29,800 games. I'm gonna probably take the time now, sit down, really take a look at all the games and stuff. But I think it's solid. I think it's really great and simple. That's what we all need. The last thing I need is for my sister to text me at like 8 a.m. because kids go to bed at like 8:30 and she'll go, hey Vic, something's going on with the system. I don't know what my niece did and now the screen is frozen and I don't know what to do and Windows is giving me an error. I don't want to see like that. That already ticks me off. Like, no, this is simple. As you can see, I turn it off, turn it on. It's on in 15 seconds. There you have it. VicVP, Gamecase Arcade. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking about Neo Geo. I do have that set to coin play, but when it gets to the pool club, it will be set to free play so the kids could experience some nostalgia. VicVP, Gamecase Arcades. Yoga Flame. I like the art on this.